Howdy gang, welcome to another AndyForge video. Today we're finally getting into some more deck discussion past my custom decks. We are looking at the guaranteed Revenant deck from the GameFound. So if you don't know, if you participated in the GameFound, you got a number of added benefits from stretch goals and such. One of those was a Awakening style deck, so it'll have the special border and design and everything, that came with a guaranteed Revenant card, which is a card from long past. You saw them at the end of my collector set if you watched that video, but it is a creature that can show up basically in any house. It's like a new form of anomaly for Grim Reminders exclusively, so it seems pretty rad. And they denoted that with a red sticker. So we know that this is the Revenant only. I've been playing a bunch of games on the Crucible's dev server, so I feel like I've got an okay handle of Grim Reminders. I want to play more, obviously. I want to be able to give some good feedback and discussion about it. But without further ado, let us break into this. I have seen photos of the Awakening treatment for cards, but this will be the first instance of me seeing it kind of in person, so I'm rather excited. Let's make sure. Ooh, okay. Come on now. I pre-cut these, but sometimes they don't cooperate. Alrighty. So, red Archon it looks like. First house, Unfathomable. Mars and Equidon. Okay, not bad. Was hoping for some Geistoid just because I love them, but not bad at all. That lightning looks good. This Archon is called Markustus Grounds Urchin. Interesting. Archon looks pretty cool there with the staff. The Awakening treatment is awesome with the kind of robotic designs hidden in the kind of lightning and glow. These houses seem pretty good this set, depending on the cards you get. Well, give me 1 second. I will break this open, and we will get a peek at the card reveal. See what Revenant we got. We are here now with the card reveal. I wanted to mention the first half as well. Let me know what you guys think of the new playmat. I really like it compared to the Lieutenant Governal one, although the Lieutenant Governal one will always have a special place in my heart, and I feel like it made for a very good background. This also has a good balance of like lighting and color and stuff, but if it is drawing less attention or maybe too much attention, or doesn't look as good with its darker colors, just let me know. We can switch it out. But let us get in. So, very first card here, hello. It's gonna be our deck list. Set that to the side there. Then we should have, our rules card. See if it says anything new here. No, just mentions haunted. Set that away. Oh goodness, okay, and we are diving right in. So we're in Unfathomable, and here is our Revenant. Very first card. Fantastic. Wow, okay. So we got Ghostly Dr. Varoctor, 2-power Spectre creature in Unfathomable. It has Elusive and Play After Reap. Return a card from your discard pile to the top of your deck. Destroyed if you are haunted, archive Ghostly Dr. Varoctor. That's some really good recursion, putting stuff on the top of your deck, especially if we can get any draw pips in Unfathomable or other ways to cycle it. This is a very good card. So cool to see, especially knowing Dr. Varoctor from Dark Tidings and lore. And Dr. Varoctor's combo in Dark Tidings was already super cool. Fantastic, and that Awakening outline combined with the Revenant is so interesting because the white wisps are a Revenant design, and then the Awakening is like the robot with the lightning and stuff. Very cool. Alrighty, then we are into, still in Unfathomable, sorry. We've got the creature Wacolia, 3-power, after reap keys cost +2 during your opponent's next turn. Ooh, Squall Master. This is one of the good scrap effect cards. 3-power creature with after fight after reap. Each player discards a random card from the top of their deck and scrap exhaust an enemy creature. Really like that scrap effect. Okay, 2 of those, not bad. 3 of those. Okay. Ends with 3. Not bad. I mean, those will be great targets for discard pips and for various other things, as well as if you can get them to fight or just start reaping with them, it can get you to haunted and can do a number of things. Then we have Nemo Leech. 2 power creature with after reap if your opponent is haunted, steal 2, otherwise steal 1. Very good steal effect there. 2 of those. Oh, 1 with a drop hip. Okay, so fantastic. Varoctor can pick a card from our discard pile. If it is a really good Unfathomable card, put it on top, and then we can draw it with Nemo Leech. So that is fantastic. Oh, then we've got Kariki Germinator here. 5 power creature with play after reap. Put a card from player's discard pile on the bottom of their deck. 2 of those. Ooh, Arcane Transmitter. It's got an Amber Pip and a Discard Pip enhanced onto it. Action. Oh, did I say artifact? It's an artifact. Action, discard the top 4 cards of any player's deck. Shuffle your discard pile into your deck is the scrap effect. So it can either get you or an opponent to haunted quickly, or you can scrap it to get an early shuffle. Hukaru Ice Fin, 3 power creature with after reap. Choose a house, exhaust each creature of that house, or scrap, exhaust a creature or an artifact. A lot of scrap effects for Unfathomable. Seems like we'll be able to scrap through them a lot with our Mars and Equidon, hopefully, and then just pull up the key pieces with our Dr. Varoctor and our Arcane Transmitter and see where it goes. Okay, Dragnet, that's good. That's a good way to replay the Nemo Leech if we need to. It's an action with an Amber Pip play. Return a creature and each of its neighbors that shares a house with it to its owner's hand. Okay, that is our full Unfathomable. So no super key cards for our ghostly Dr. Varoctor in there, but maybe one of these houses will have something big. So we're into Mars now. We've got the action UFO. It's got an Amber Pip on it, and it reads, play, discard a card from the top of your deck until you discard a Mars card or run out of cards. If you discard a Mars card this way, put it into your hand. It's like Lethalogica for Mars. Very good. Ooh, 2 of those with this one with a drop hip. Okay, fantastic. And here's where one of those drop hip enhancements came from. We've got Terrible Teammates. It's an action with an Amber Pip play. You may discard a non-Mars card. This is great for our Unfathomable scrap creatures. Then we have Shrink Ray Technician, 3 power creature with after reap. Choose an enemy creature. It gets -2 power until the end of the turn. Scrap. Choose the most powerful enemy creature. Until the end of the turn, that creature is considered to have 1 power and 0 armor. Very good. 2 of those. Ooh, Grabber Jammer, 4 power, 1 armor with a discard pip enhanced. Your opponent's keys cost +1, and after fight after reap, capture 1 amber. Glixel Proliferator, a 3 power creature with after reap. If Glixel Proliferator is on a flank, archive a Mars card from your discard pile. Okay, that could be really good for our UFOs, or if we could get something like a Key Abduction. It looks like we already have a lot of creatures. 2 of those, okay, fantastic. Ooh, okay, and then this guy is really good for setting up Mars turns. 2 power creature with elusive. This is Dr. Xyloxylfrex. It reads, after reap, play a Mars creature from your discard pile and ready it. So that could be good for the Proliferators to archive. That could be good for our Shrink Ray Technicians for creature control. It could be good for our Grabber Jammer for amber control. There's a lot of utility there. Ooh, Don't Believe Your Eyes, some good amber control. It's an action with play. If you're a haunted, a creature captures 2 amber from its own side. Otherwise, a creature captures 1 amber. Oh, and then a very enhanced Brain Dart, not bad. And we've got the draw and the discard, so we could draw into a scrap card maybe, and then just discard it if that's what we want to do. It's an action with an amber, enhanced with draw and discard. Play, enrage an enemy creature, it captures 1 from its own side. Oh, and then Hypnotic Command. This is fantastic, especially with how many Mars creatures we have, and Dr. Xyloxylfrex, and the Proliferators, holy moly. Hypnotic Command, play, for each friendly Mars creature, not ready, just friendly Mars creature, choose an enemy creature to capture 1 amber from its own side. Alrighty, well now we just need like a good board wipe or 2 from Equidon to take care of those Mars turns, and hopefully we'll have some more discard pips or ways to discard in here, like a Tutor Binrillo or a Shopping Spree. We're starting with one of the new actions that I really love. It is Permanent Record. Play, exhaust a friendly creature if you do Steal 2. This is really good with Belligerent Guard just because he enters play ready. So if you have no creatures in play, you can still take advantage of that. Ledger Domain, okay. Play, return a damaged creature to its owner's hand. If you do, its controller gains 1 amber. This could also be good with a Belligerent Guard, just because you could fight Belligerent Guard into something, Ledger Domain it, then gain an amber. Your opponent would get a card every time you played Belligerent Guard, but they can combo pretty well. Oh, 2 of those. 3 of those, goodness, with a discard pip, so that's good. No wonder we had so many discard and draw pips. They all came from Ledger Domain for the most part. Oh, and this is a legacy. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay. Oh, wow. We got a legacy mass buyout in this already very special deck. It's an action with 2 discard pips enhanced. Play, destroy each creature. Each player gains amber equal to half the number of creatures they controlled that were destroyed this way, rounded up. Incarnation Pod. It is an artifact with an amber. Action, choose a card in any discard pile and put it on the bottom of its owner's deck, or scrap, purge the bottom card of each player's discard pile. Gemcoat Vendor with a discard pip, 6 power creature with action, steal 1, deal 1 damage to Gemcoat Vendor. De-escalation, okay, so we've had 2 good board wipes that'll help with dealing with the board state after we take full advantage of our Hypnotic Command. De-escalation is an action that reads, play, destroy each creature. Your opponent archives the top 3 cards of their deck. Oh, and then we do... Wow, okay, so we have a Belligerent Guard enhanced with a draw pip. So 8 power, Belligerent Guard enters play ready. Play, your opponent draws a card. So we could play Belligerent Guard, fight it into a creature, you know, draw a card, get rid of that creature, then Ledger Domain it, gain an amber, return Belligerent Guard to our hand, play Belligerent Guard, draw a card, fight into another creature, Ledger Domain it again. We could Ledger Domain it 3 times, I think it was, and then set up the perfect board state for us to just mass buyout and gain the most value. This seems very good. Okay. Ooh, Trade Secrets, not bad. If we don't need our Ledger Domains or our de-escalation or mass buyout, we can just turn it straight into steal. Also, discard any number of Equidon cards. I don't know that we had any scrap effects outside of Incarnation Pod, but a great way to take advantage of scrap effects. I didn't read it. Trade Secrets is an action that reads, play, discard any number of Equidon cards from your hand, steal 1 amber for each card discarded this way. Oh, and then we got a Sandworm too. Oh my gosh, great. Again, for Ledger Domain. Wow, okay. A 16 power creature with after fight, shuffle Sandworm into your deck. So I guess you would just want it to be damaged without fighting it, because it will just shuffle into your deck. But with how much draw we have Belligerent Guard, I don't know. Well, we could draw right back into Sandworm. But it has 2 amber pips. Ooh, Out-Negotiate. Okay, this is an action with an amber pip. Choose a card in your opponent's discard pile. Steal an amber equal to the number of bonus icons on that card, and put that card on the bottom of its owner's deck. Okay, fantastic. Out-Negotiate, ironically, is really good if your opponent has a Sandworm, just because if the Sandworm does make it into the discard pile, then it probably wasn't played because of the natural kind of recurring effect of Sandworm and its high power. So you could steal 2 for a card that either wasn't played or was destroyed so it couldn't recur itself, and put it as low on the deck as possible so it's not constantly shuffling. This is wow, seems like a very, very good deck, or at the very least, super fun to play. There is a decent amount of amber control. I think maybe we're missing a little bit of efficiency, but we do have UFO. So that could lend itself straight into those big Mars turns, and then kind of finish us out, hopefully with cycling back into Equidon. I don't know that there are any great ways to really kind of set up an Equidon board outside of maybe, you know, the Ledger Domain Belligerent Guard stuff, but it seems super, super cool. Also, yeah, we could take certain parts of that Equidon Trade Secrets Mass Buyout, de-escalate, and Ghostly Dr. Varrockter them straight back into our hand on a Unfathomable turn. So, I don't know. Okay. I will be right back. So decks of KeyForge, because I am on Patreon, I have preview scores for Grim Reminders. So I'm going to do a deck breakdown like usual. You're going to see all the scores and everything. I just want you all to keep in mind that they are temporary scores. They just kind of in the works scores. These aren't permanent set scores. Numbers could change, things could be missing. Just because it is all very much in the works, it is not publicly available to every decks of KeyForge user. So just keep that in mind. If you see something that's missing, or the score doesn't seem right, or this, that, and the other, it's because it's not technically done yet. So we will be right back. Okay, we are here now with the deck breakdown. I will say a few things here. So I knew that the decks of KeyForge SAS and stuff wasn't fully up there yet. However, what I didn't know is that because of the Master Vault having Revenants broken, which it's been a known issue for a while, I'm sure they're working on it, but the Revenants don't show up properly in the Master Vault, and so decks of KeyForge can't import it because the Revenants show up improperly, so pulling that data wouldn't really mean anything. So I created a theoretical deck in decks of KeyForge to get the SAS, get the score. It's going to, for all intents and purposes, be the same as far as I'm aware. Every card here existed and was put into the deck, so it should generate the same SAS. It just doesn't know which cards the discard pips and the other, enhanced pips landed on, which could affect SAS up or down, but I'm not sure by how much, maybe like a point or two. But nothing crazy there, so you will still get all the numbers. It's just technically through a theoretical deck. It's weird, but shouldn't matter too much. Also, typically we show off the Archon card in the corner here, but we're going to show off our Revenant because we pulled one, and that's the whole point of this super cool Awakening deck. So, usual piles, we've got our Amber control, expected Amber, no artifact control, and then creature control. And then in this corner here, there's a new Haunted score, and it is typically given from 0 to 10 as of right now, and it is just like kind of the likelihood that you would be haunted when you need to be, I believe is how they're doing it. So these are decks that are these are cards rather that are in the deck that don't really serve a whole lot of other purposes other than discarding cards, and obviously they have secondary effects, but they don't fit here, and they help us with Haunted. So they have taken over the spot that the kind of token generating cards has on my screen here. But let's dig in. We're going to start with the SAS. So right there, we've got 83 SAS. It is pretty high. A base AERC of 70 plus 13 synergy and no anti-synergy, which is great. And then there is our extras and counts. We got 13 bonus Amber, which is lower than I would like, but absolutely okay in this deck. And then we have 15 actions, which is above average, 19 creatures, which is also a little bit above average, 2 artifacts, which is below average, and no upgrades, which is also below average. As far as our archives go, there are only 2 cards in the deck that can archive, and it is both of our Glixel Proliferators. We've got no key cheats, no scaling Amber control, 2 board wipes through de-escalation and our legacy mass buyout. And then our Haunted score out of 10 is 9, which seems pretty good. We've got a variety of different cards that can help us achieve Haunted, but it looks like there's a bottom section here where it goes over the ratings. I will go ahead and flash that on the screen in the middle there. This is what the Haunted stuff looks like. We've got 2 artifacts making us less haunted because they stick to the board and aren't in the discard pile, 15 actions, which is more haunted, and 7 discard pips, which also goes towards that Haunted score, giving us a 9 out of 10. So clear all of this away, and there is our Amber and Control section. We've got 12 Amber control, 26 expected Amber, which is pretty great, no artifact control, and 11 creature control. Let's dig in. So the Amber control also goes into the expected Amber. Same story of stealing. I just think it's more important that the opponent has less Amber. So we've got trade secrets here at the bottom, just because you never know how much you're going to get out of it, and it doesn't count itself in, its effect. Then we've got Wicolia, the After Reap increase our opponent's key cost. Very good. Gemcoat Vendor for some steal. Brain Dart for some delayed steal, capture onto the opponent. Out Negotiate for steal through pips. Nemo Leech for more stealing. Nemo Leech. Don't believe your eyes. So this one is strange. So it could be a like delayed steal in your capturing from your opponent's pool onto your opponent's creature if you are haunted. Otherwise, I believe it's just a friendly creature captures one. So it is Amber control no matter what, but it is exponentially better if you're haunted. You've got Grabber Jammer here with increased key cost and the ability to capture. Permanent Record for Exhaust Steal 2. And Hypnotic Command, which is going to be a big boon. The only thing to be worried about with Hypnotic Command is if our opponent has, I believe it's called Mid-Year Festivities. It is select 9 creatures, destroy all those creatures, and move all amber on those creatures to the owner of those creatures' pool. So if we have our opponent capture a bunch onto their own creatures and they mid-year festivities, they will just move all of that amber right back to them. So could be dangerous, but that is a rare Equidon card in this set, so not super worried. But it seems like we've got some decent amber control. Then we are going into our expected amber here. A lot of it was pips or stealing that you just saw. So this pile's a little bit small. We've got Dr. Zaloxolfrax with the ability to play a Mars creature from our discard pile ready. So we would reap with Dr. Zaloxolfrax and then probably reap with the Mars creature. Ledger Domain because it has an amber, and then ideally you're using it on your own creatures just because that additional gain and ability to recur them. So the idea there is that, you know, it's 2 amber. Sometimes you'll hit your opponent's creatures. Then we've got Sandworm here with the 2 amber pips and the ability that just recurs itself. And that is it. Other than that, we had all of our steel and then the rest of the pips in the deck, bringing us up to 26. There is no artifact control, which kind of stinks, but I think that is mattering less this set. I'm honestly not 100% sure. Obviously, it would be very important, but there isn't anything like Eaton's Jar in this set that can really ruin a deck or something. So we're here in our creature control. We've got Shrink Ray Technician, which its reap effect is the -2 power, which is huge just because it dodges directly around armor. So if you have a damaged enemy creature and you can lower their power, you don't have to worry about armor and it can just kill them. Or, you know, say it's Ghostly Dr. Varoctor, our opponent has one or something. -2 power, they go to 0 power, they just die. Don't have to worry about dealing damage or fighting around elusive. And then the scrap effect, of course, lowers the power and armor from whatever it is to 1 power, 0 armor. Then we've got our Belligerent Guard, of course, which enters play ready with 8 power, super easy to fight off opponents, creatures, especially if we can Ledger Domain them. Then we've got Hikaru Icefin, which can exhaust each creature of a house, which is just a very good reap effect. Glad to see that Unfathomable is getting some better exhaust options this set, whereas in Winds of Exchange there was very few, if any, exhaust, and it was kind of a detractor from the deck. And then Scrap also exhausts a creature or an artifact. Then we've got Dragnet here to bounce creatures. We can get opponents' creatures that don't have play effects, maybe some big Brobnar creatures, kind of out of here and on back into their hand. Mass Buyout is just a board wipe. The 2 discard pips could be good or bad. Often you'll play Mass Buyout at the end of performing a bunch of steps, so you just have to hope that there aren't any creatures that you want to play out after you Mass Buyout, but if it can set you up for more amber gain, it's kind of fine anyways. And of course, De-Escalation, another board wipe, this one allowing our opponent to archive the top 3 cards of their deck, which can be very scary if you don't know where the important cards in your opponent's archives are, or in your opponent's deck are, if they don't have it in their discard pile or you don't know that it's in their hand. But a well-timed board wipe could matter way more than that in the long run. Then of course our Haunted pile here. Got Terrible Teammates for the discard a non-Mars card. Squall Master for the after fight, after reap, each player discards a random card from their hand, which If you had a big Unfathomable turn is fine, because then you're just down to a certain number of cards, or it could just lead to you drawing more, since you're doing it on your turn, you know? And From Hand is great to discard from the opponents, and we had 3 of those guys. And then we had our Arcane Transmitter, which is our biggest kind of dealing with Haunted, because we can discard 4 cards from the top of our deck or our opponent's deck. And of course it has a scrap effect that shuffles the discard pile, but that is less important in achieving Haunted. But that is it. Of course, I will leave our ghostly Dr. Varoctor here, clear that away. And we've got one last thing, our speed and board. So the speed and board in this set is actually going to be where some of the most interesting interactions and stuff happen. And I might, just for this set, start switching to another screen where we show off just speed and board cards so that we can take another more grandiose look at it. It would make the videos a little bit longer, but if that's something you guys are interested in, please let me know. Our efficiency for this deck is 13. Most of that is because of the 2 UFOs, but we also have Terrible Teammates and Triple Ledger Domain for some very increased speed. Our recursion, we got 4.5. That is mostly the Glixel Proliferators and the Dr. Xyloxylfrex, but then we do have some in Unfathomable with the Arcane Transmitter and Kariki Germinator, and then of course Incarnation Pod, but that one's a little bit less. Our disruption is 3.3, mostly because of our Squall Masters, but then we have Dragnet, Incarnation Pod, Triple Ledger Domain, and Kariki Germinator. Our board is both big and small. Sandworm has 16 power that it brings to the table. Then we have Belligerent Guard, Gemcoat Vendor, Grabber Jammer, Kariki Germinator, you know, good 5 power and higher creatures. But it's also detracted by 15, which is almost all of Sandworm's power, just because we have Mass Buyout and De-Escalation, which are kind of unbiased board wipes. Got no creature protection. And then other board state affecting cards are De-Escalation, which I guess is a board wipe, but they archive some. Belligerent Guard, our opponent draws 1, and then Mass Buyout is -1. One day I will understand the other effects area. I'm assuming it is just things that affect the board, but the negatively, so we have, the board wipes here, or Belligerent Guard, but I don't know where Belligerent Guard is here. But, we'll find out one day what the other tab of board means. That is it. Slide ghostly Dr. Varoctor here in the center. Very cool looking guy. So, thank you guys so much for watching. The Revenant deck looks super awesome. I can't wait to play it and see how it feels. It seems pretty crazy. Just so you know, as this video is going up, it should be going up on the 12th. Today is the last day to vote on the new name of AndyForge subscribers. So that form will be in a link in the description. It is super quick. It just goes to a Google form. You don't have to give any information or anything. You just submit your answer and go about your day. But this will be the last day to do it at midnight as of uploading this video on February 12th. The form will be closed, and then the following videos that I record after that will be with the new nickname. So I'm super excited. Check that out if you haven't. I can't wait to dig into some more stuff with you guys. The next video should be the opening of my Menagerie deck that I got. So if you're interested to see what those look like and the cool new art treatment that Menagerie has, keep your eyes peeled for that. But remember, the most important part of KeyForge is the person sitting across the table. Bye, have a good one.